But we want to talk about the big story in the Premier League right now. It is official. A new man in charge, interim basis. Ralf Rangnick is taking over for Manchester United as a manager. That's not all here. Coming up in a couple years, too, he'll be a consultant for the team for another 2 years. He said, quote, focused on making this a successful season for the club. The squad is full of talent, has a great balance of youth and experience. All my efforts for the next 6 months will be on helping these players fulfill their potential, both individually and most importantly as a team. Beyond that, I look forward to supporting the club's longer-term goals on a consultancy basis. So, Danny, it's the first time that you've been able to speak on this. So do you think this one move sets up United to be back at the top of the table or competing at the top of the table in the next couple of years?
It could be the first piece, but I do have my concerns. I think when you look at other clubs, for example, I think that's the first thing you have to do. The clubs that everyone are trying to emulate at the moment, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, they are the ones that are in this race to win the title. And Manchester United obviously want to get there. I look at how they've done things over the last 10 years. The three clubs that I've just mentioned, by and large, they've had directors of football for the last 10 years. Manchester United in John Murtough have just got their first director of football. He was promoted from within for another role that he had at the club. You bring in Rangnick, and I think from the outside looking in, you think this is brilliant. I still feel at times that Manchester United are stuck in the Sir Alex Ferguson period, where he ran the club along with David Gill, and you were able to do that then. That's not the way football is now. And I think with Rangnick going into the club, yes, initially he's going in as a manager. And then he's going to go behind the scenes for the next 2 years. What that role is, nobody knows. But he's going to have a lot of sorting out to do. Manchester United, I feel, have been over the last 5, 6, 7 years, Manchester United Business Club, not Manchester United Football Club. And I think some of the decisions that have been made have been financial decisions, which I think in turn has probably hampered them more on the field. Managers that have gone into the club, they've been given full control. I don't think a manager can have full control now. He has to have people behind the scenes that can help. So Rangnick, what he has to do is stabilise everything on the pitch, but he also then has to sort things out behind the scenes and get the right people in the right spaces. Still problems with the structure?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? I think we'd all like them to make a decision. Make a decision and hire a full-time, legitimate, experienced director of football that's been there before, built clubs, organised a hierarchy within that football club, set out a blueprint, hired, fired, taught new coaches into the team, decides on the recruiting network. He's done all that. But we're not there yet. And you talk about the consultancy role for 2 years. Well, what is that? Consultancy, like what, a Zoom call every month? Or is he going to be in the building every week doing stuff? I think this is almost like, let's feel each other out for this 6 months. It is going to depend on how it goes on the field, because if it doesn't go well in terms of his coaching side of things, then I'm not sure they're going to want to give him too much power. Outside of that, I'm sure that's what he wants, and I think you think the club needs somebody to do that. So it's just again, it's a fudge situation. They've still got newbies behind the scenes, and John Murtough, director of football, Darren Fletcher, technical director, and all these higher-ups that are basically learning on the job. He's not. He wouldn't be. I just think, to Danny's point, the club, you feel, are scared to give up power. Yeah. He should control football. Control football at that club and let everybody else do the commercial side. He should do the football side, but I'm not sure they're going to give him that power.
Some of that is tough to see how it's going to shake out here until the end of the season. So let's focus on what we will see on the pitch here in the next 6 months or so. What do you think will change with this Manchester United team, with him as the interim manager?
I think whenever you look at anything to do with Rangnick, to do with his history, the history that he had with Red Bulls and the fact of his gegenpressing, he wants his team to press high. He wants it to be organised. He wants to have discipline. My concern is, I look at teams that do that. Manchester City do that. Chelsea do that. Liverpool do that. Look at the players in those teams. Your Van Dijks, your Diaz, your Firmino, your Hendersons, your Rudigers, your Silvers. Manchester United don't have those players. All those players that I've just mentioned are organisers. You have to be disciplined. You have to be organised when you play in a way that Rangnick wants to play. So Manchester United, however they're going to do it, they're going to change their style, because that's the way that this new manager wants to play. I'm not convinced that There are players in that dressing room. I'm not saying that they're not good enough, but I don't know whether there's enough leadership skills to then carry that out on the pitch. I don't know where you see it from, Robbie.
Well, I hear your concerns stuff, but I am more excited. I'm more excited what he can do. He's a really, really experienced, really good coach. And yeah, maybe there's not the right people in different spots, but I think as a good coach, he'll adjust to that and he'll figure out ways for Ronaldo to be involved in winning the ball back quickly. You haven't got to ask him to sprint one side to the other side. A simple game plan. Different people know what their role is within that pressing. When they win the ball back, the whole thing with him as well is we've got to get a shot off within 8 seconds. It's when their opponents are most out of position. So all this kind of very different way of thinking about the game is going to hit this team in this dressing room. I'm excited to see it because he's a man with a plan and very different, polar opposite to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, yeah, it might not be perfect, Danny, but I think at least there's going to be a strategy and a plan, and we'll see different players be prominent, Van der Beek maybe and others, and then he should recommend other players to sign and maybe also the next manager. But we'll
Glass
see.
half full, Mustoe. We don't see that very often. We don't see that side. You're bringing the mood down here.
I know he is.
Right. Well, you know.
Come on.
Trying a little bit, trying to see the best of both.
Keep it realistic. Yet to be determined on a lot of it. Michael Carrick will take charge of the team Thursday still against Arsenal. Could see Rangnick on the touchline Sunday when they play Crystal Palace coming up at Old Trafford.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches and much more.